as long as we need to go. And it was Chris's hometown, I believe. I think it was Edmonton. We had worked the night before, didn't have the match I wanted to have because that's how much I knew Chris could go, how much I respected him. And so I just said, hey, man, I don't see you making a traditional comeback on me. I see this being something where you just grab, me from behind and let's do 10 German suplexes, 10 in a row, because I just don't see a regular comeback. I see 10 German suplexes, and then here comes Vince coming down, and I barely escape with the belt. And Chris thought about that for a minute. He goes, I like that. And so that's what we went out and did. So it wasn't in the moment. It was something that I called, I planned, I ran across Chris, he dug it, and we did it. And I'll never forget after that match, I've said it on the podcast before, is one of the highest compliments I'd ever been paid by an opponent. We always shake hands after the matches. And, man, that was Chris's hometown, man, and we got off the headbutt off the top turnbuckle, me throwing the belt up. He gets a little bit of color from that accidentally. It was a real solid match. And he goes, man, he goes, thanks. He goes, you really got me over. And he got it. He knew what I was trying to do, and that was my job to do, was to get him over. He was already over to a degree, but I got him more over than he was after the match than he was before the match. And he recognized that, and he told me that, and I'll never forget that compliment. And I wish things hadn't gone the way they did with Chris as far as down the road. But, man, the Chris Benoit that I knew, badass worker, great dude, cool as hell. And so I remember that match vividly. Out of all the things I've forgotten, I remember that match. And I remember my first trip to Japan. Hell, I guess it was with WCW. It's when I tore my tricep off my arm. But, Chris was there. Eddie Guerrero was there. Dean Malenko was there. Myself, Arn, Ron Simmons. And watching Benoit and Malenko and Guerrero go out there every night and rip the damn roof off the building, to have to follow them, that was damn near impossible. Those guys, as great as they were in America, or Dean was awesome everywhere, man, but, Chris and Eddie, man, they thrived over in Japan, and they could work their asses off, and they were like buzzsaws over there, so they were hard to follow. Yeah, that's what I remember about that match. I called the suplexes, and I wasn't in any pain. And the pain you're speaking of is because I just come back from a neck fusion, and I figured at all the bumps that I'd taken leading up to that match that I would be fine taking those bumps. And it would be a great ploy and a great strategy for Chris to use to take me out and to focus on my weakness or perceived weakness, which could have been construed as being my neck because of the fusion, because of the surgery. And I was working heel at the time, so, he's giving it back to me and then some. And so it made sense for that in his comeback.